Well, good evening, boys and girls. I'm leaving work right now in my Camaro Zl1, and I wanted to put a quick video around one of the, I would think one of the questions that I'm asked a lot on the channel. It might be in my top 5, and that's around can the Camaro Zl1 be a daily driver? We all know that the Zl1 can be a daily driver because it comes with magnetic ride. However, my car is a Camaro Zl1 with the 1LE package, and it loses the mag ride. It has the Bilstein shocks in the front where you can actually adjust them for days that you want to take it to the track to give you more camber on those sharp turns. I haven't messed with that on the vehicle. I haven't taken my car to the track. Here in Houston, we really don't have a real good track to go to. I think you have to drive like a good hour and a half south to be able to get to some kind of a track where you can actually open her up and test out the car. But the purpose of this video is around, can you daily drive, the Camaro Zl1 1LE? And so let me share with you guys the journey for me in purchasing the car and the situation I ran into when I was about to purchase the car. So I had been looking online for a while on this car, and I was waiting for the car to price drop somewhat. But what you're going to notice that when you go to GM dealerships for these specific cars, they don't really negotiate on price. I mean, they might take a couple of grand off, but they're not going to drop them, 5, 6, 8K off. So the depreciation on the Zl1 1LE does depreciate, right? All cars depreciate, but it is less than the traditional, just regular Zl1. So when I was going, I shopped at different dealerships, and there was one dealership that caught my attention because they were giving me a nice discount. And as you guys know, I traded in my Alfa Romeo Giulia Quattrofoglio, and so they were giving me a nice value for my trade. Plus I had my tax credit. And so that all helped with the negotiations of this car and why the deal ultimately came to fruition. However, I had concerns as to many people that send me comments on the forum. Is the car too rough? Does it drive too hard? Does it rattle your cage, right? And what the problem with GM, and maybe it's not GM, the dealer network themselves that sell this vehicle, is that they don't let you test drive these cars, guys. Most owners that pick up these type of cars, like the ZR1 Corvette or the Camaro Zl1 1LE, or even the GT 350R, most of those owners, when they show up to the dealer, they don't want that. Nobody has driven that car. They want that car with less, miles, like maybe 2 miles, maybe 3 miles. And that was the case for me, right? So when I asked them to test drive the car, they would not let me test drive the car. And I wanted to test drive it because I'm like, man, if it's too rough, I'll just go with the Zl1, right? And so they didn't let me test drive it. But the day I decided to sign the dotted line, they decided to take my Alfa Romeo that night. And I end up getting the Zl1 1LE as a loaner. They actually lent it to me because they knew I was going to purchase it the next day. Sorry for the camera, the glare's coming out kind of weird in the ride, but so I actually got to get the car for 24 hours with the intention of purchasing because I had literally pretty much signed everything. The problem is that when I arrived at the dealer, it was so late that no finance manager was there, and the people that were there were occupied with other customers, so they couldn't help me. But they're like, you know what, Edgar, go ahead and take the car. So then I'm like, okay, so now finally I get to, if you want to call it test drive the car, pretty much after, I just need to sign the dotted line because I'm purchasing the car. And again, it's tough because they don't let you test drive these cars, so you really don't know the feel of the ride. So I am not gonna lie to you guys. I get on the car and I drive her for about 5 minutes, and I'm like, there is no way in hell I'm gonna buy this car now. I mean, the car to me, just was, you could feel every pothole, every crevice. It's rough, right? And I was like, wow. I mean, there's just no way. I get home, guys, and I'm so sad because I really wanted this car. This is the car I want. And the car was driving so rough for me that I told my wife, I'm like, babe, I don't think I'm going to get the car. It's just too much for me. I mean, the car is just, man, you feel everything. And so I said, let me do some research tonight. Let me not get ahead of what's going on. And so what I did is I went onto the online forums and started doing some research. And one of the things that kept on popping up and that was recommended by other Zl1 1Le owners was one of the things you got to do on the car is you want to change the tires out. And so I started reading more, and it kept on saying that everybody just kept saying that there was a big or a vast improvement in the ride quality once you change the tires out. Because again, if you guys don't know, this car literally comes with slicks. I think it's like a thousand treadwell or something like that. So they run out very quickly. And so I started thinking about it. I slept on it the next day, and I was like, you know what? Maybe that's it. And so I took a chance, guys, which is kind of crazy because ultimately what I did is I went ahead and took a chance on the car, and I actually went back to the dealer, signed the dotted line, and the first thing I did with this car, and if you go back on my vlog in regards to my videos, you'll see I changed the tires to I changed the standard tires with some Michelin 4S's. And I can absolutely agree with every other owner out there. It absolutely did a significant difference in how the car rides. It was a breath of fresh air for me because I'm telling you, with those stock tires, I mean, it does not help the car because the car is always already coming with some rough suspension. And so the tires just add to its, to its ride quality. And I get it. The car is designed for the track. It's not designed for a daily driver. I daily drive my car. Every single day, I drive around 55 miles going and coming from work, and I enjoy it. But again, I wasn't enjoying it when I first got it, but I had to change the tires, which absolutely changed the ride quality of the car. So, to answer the question out there, if you're planning on getting this car, a lot of you guys could probably do it with the stock tires. I do not recommend it. I just don't. I think it's too rough, and I know I'm going to get comments. Stop being a punk, you're a wuss, why did you get the car in the first place? Guys, I love the car. I bought the car. You know what I mean? Most people are not used to these type of cars. These are full-blown racing cars that are street legal. I mean, it really is. I'm not even joking. So I ended up changing the tires. And the other thing I was reading on the forum is that it takes a while for you to get used to the car, right? When you come from cars that are normal cars, that are really not race cars, they all drive really nice. Really soft suspension. You can change the suspension to sport or track, and you can notice the difference in the handling and the steering wheel, right? That's not the case with this car. In this car, you can put it in touring mode, track, and it doesn't matter what mode you put it in, the car has a rough suspension. And again, I keep on saying rough, but I want to make sure that you guys understand that I've had this car for 3 months, and I've been, how can I put it in good words? I have acclimated to the car. I have adapted to the car, and now I'm actually used to it. The car, to me, drives so well now. It's unbelievable. It went from a point where I didn't think I was going to buy the car because it was just too much for me in regards to how it rode, to, man, this car rides so great. And I think there's a couple of things to it. One, as I mentioned, is the tires. Two, it's a 3-month-old car. And so I believe some of the suspension has softened up through use. And so that has also helped it kind of, change its roughness. And so I believe because of the mixture of those two things, this car has become a daily driver for me. And I feel really good with my purchase. I'm glad I bought the Camaro Zl1. You get stares all the time. It's a rare car. People don't see it. They didn't build that many of them, right? And on top of that, I have a 10-speed automatic, which I know some people are going to give me some crap about that because they're like, if you're going to be buying this type of car, it should be a stick shift. That's fine. That's great. I don't care for stick shifts. I drive my car every single day, right? And so I don't care for that. I prefer to have an automatic. I don't want to be dealing with the stick stuck in Houston traffic. And I know there's some areas that have worse traffic than I do, right? But I didn't want to put up with that shit. Excuse my French. So I wanted to provide this quick video around can you daily drive the Camaro Zl1 1Le? And the answer is you can. I would just recommend some of the things that I've done to the car, like the tires, and allowing you to adjust to the car, because it is different than any other car you've ever driven from a suspension standpoint. And so that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you're enjoying some of these videos. Please hit the like button. Make sure you share and hit the like or dislike, whatever. I'm trying to post more videos or more content. A lot of the feedback that you guys are leaving me around the questions you're asking, like the one I'm trying to answer today, helps me and put more content on the channel. So please subscribe, stay tuned, and I hope you guys are doing well. You take care of yourself, and we'll stay in touch. Peace out.